Hi guys, welcome to today's video. This video is going to be my 5-star predictions. So these are books I'm predicting are going to be 5-star reads. If you don't know, across the book community, most people rate out of 5 stars, so 1 to 5. So basically 5-star books are like the best of the best, really good books that I love and cherish. And so these are books I think are gonna be those 5 stars. Disclaimer, I am sick, so sorry if I sound weird or if I'm like a bit low energy. I'm sorry. I've been sick like all month, and so I have been slacking on videos in September, but hopefully I'm back now and I don't get sick again and I can go back to wasting videos. But let's get into my 5-star reads. So I have a few genres, a little bit of everything, but these are like the books that stand out to me the most. First we have Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. This book is very popular among BookTok, BookTube, the whole book community. This is a romance between a hockey player and a figure skater, I think. It sounds really, really good. There's a lot of people that absolutely love this book, and so I have very high expectations, and I think it's going to be a book that I love. Next we have Anatomy by Sana Schmartz. This is a romance mixed with a bit of mystery, and it's also set in the 1800s, I think, Victorian era sort of book. It sounds really, really interesting. The FMC is a scientist and she does experiments on like corpses. There's some stuff going on in the town, and her and the MMC work together to figure it out, I think. I don't know if it's heavier on the romance or the mystery. I'll have to see, but I have very high expectations for this book. And Katie's read this recently and she really liked it. That makes me even more excited to read this book. Next, we have Archer's Voice. This is one of the top books on my TV. I'm so excited to get this book. It sounds so good. I feel like I'm gonna love it. I'm so excited. It's by Mary Sheridan. The MMC, I think he's mute. I've heard it's a very beautiful love story, very touching, heartwarming. It sounds so, so good. Oh my god. I'm so excited to get into this book. Ooh, next we have Twisted Games by Anna Huang. This is the second book in the Twisted series, although it is a standalone series, so you can read them on their own. I haven't read the first book, but this book sounds really good. It's between a bodyguard and a princess, and I've just heard so many good things. I don't know if I'm gonna read this one first, maybe Twisted Love. I still haven't decided, but I have such high expectations for this book. It sounds incredible. It is a bit of a thick book, 450 pages, but that could be a good thing. I don't know. But Reese Larson, I've heard his name everywhere. It sounds really good. Ooh, another book by Anna Huang. Why am I surprised I picked these books? This is King of Wrath. This is part of a different series. I think it's a bit like the Twisted series. It's not like a normal romance book, like there's a bit of what am I saying? Oh, okay. There's a billionaire CEO and a Jory Hyras, who is the daughter of his enemy. It's got a little something to it. It's kind of like a mafia romance, I think. I haven't actually read a mafia romance, but I feel like it gives that same vibes, maybe not, I don't know. The cover is so pretty. I love all the covers for this series. They look so good. Next we have The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. I have heard so many good things about this book. People that have like really similar reading tastes to me have really loved this book, and I feel like I'm going to as well. I think the main characters have a date or something. They feel like they're not right for each other, but they help each other be each other's wingman, wingwoman, I think. And they have like a competition to see who can get into a relationship first, maybe. And then there's some fake dating. But I've heard just really, really good things about this book. I have read Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter, which I did like, and that was YA, and this is an adult romance. But I gave that one 4 stars. So maybe this will be a 5-star. That's what I'm hoping. I just prefer adult romance over YA since I am an adult. And next we have Everything for You by Chloe Leese. This is a part of the Bergman Brothers series. This is the 5th book. I've read the second book, I think, Always Only You, and I read If Only You, which I don't know which one in the series that is. But I've been reading them out of order because you can. They're both soccer players. I think one is the coach. No, one is the... They're co-captains, maybe. I'm not sure. But Chloe Lisa's books so far have all been 5 stars for me, maybe even 6 stars. They're so sweet and wholesome, and I love how she explores relationships and all that stuff. It's so good. And she always has a lot of really good representation in her books. So I have really high expectations for this book. I'm hoping it'll be another 5 star, and Chloe Lisa will possibly be a favorite author of mine. I mean, she pretty much already is, but we'll have to see if I like this book just as much. Next, we have our only fantasy. And I think that's mainly because I don't own a lot of fantasy. I have a lot of fantasy on my TBR that I think could be 5 stars, like my digital TBR, like on Goodreads, not my physical TBR. But this is the only physical fantasy book on my TBR that I think will be a 5 stars. So this, I think it's a bit of, oh, I didn't even say the name. Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. I think it's between the Queen's Guard and a street thief. I don't know which one's which, but it's a romance fantasy and it's a duology. I've heard so many good things. About this series. People say the romance is so good. I think it's a bit of like a cat and mouse romance, which sounds really good. I'm so excited. Okay, next we have our literary fiction. So we have The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. This book I picked up the other week actually, and I had remembered I'd seen it before and it looked interesting to me. And that day in particular, I had seen a lot of bees. I really love bees, and I'd seen a lot of bees that day, so I was like, maybe it's a sign to get this book. After like researching and checking Goodreads to see if this was actually a book I've seen before, it has like 500,000 ratings, which is quite a lot. It also has a movie, so it's quite a popular book. It's about Lily, who grew up believing she accidentally killed her mother. I think it explores a lot of the racism. Lily also goes on a journey to understand what actually happened to her mother. I think it's like a very important book. There's a lot of important messages in it. It sounds really good. Next we have Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Severn. So you have probably heard of this book. This came out last year, I think, and it was so popular. I feel like I've said that about every single book. Anyways, this story follows, I think, a friendship, maybe a relationship from like childhood to adulthood. They also make games, I think, and people have just said amazing things about this book, just incredible things. So I'm expecting to absolutely love it. I think it might be a bit sad as well. Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Every Taylor Jenkins Reid book I've read so far has been a 5 star and I've absolutely loved it. So I'm assuming this will be the same. This book is also really intriguing to me. It's all set during one night, I think, and there might be some, I think there's like flashbacks within it. It follows Nina Riva. I don't actually know a lot about the plot for this book, but a lot of her books follow celebrities, singers, musicians, and they're usually also set, when are they set, like the 1950s, 1980s? But again, I've heard a lot of good things about this book, and I just have high expectations because Taylor has never failed me yet. I usually cry to her books, and so I'm assuming the same will happen here. Next we have Circe by Madeline Miller. This is a Greek mythological retelling. This author also wrote The Song of Achilles, which I really like that book. It wasn't a 5 star, it was a 4 star. And so I'm hoping this will be a 5 star. I actually don't know a lot about Greek mythological tales and stuff, but they really interest me. I really want to read more. I was in ancient history in my last year of school, and then I dropped out because it just wasn't for me. But I really enjoy it when it's in like books, in fiction, when it's retellings. I guess I just don't like, I don't know. I guess it's a lot more interesting when I'm reading like a story about it. And a lot of people have said this is better than The Song of Achilles, so I'm hoping that's true. The last book we have is a classic. So this is Perfume by Patrick Susskind. This follows a murderer who has like a really strong sense of smell, I think. And I think he uses that with his murders, maybe? I don't know. But it sounds really interesting. Apparently it's also really weird, bizarre. It sounds really good. I've seen so many good things. It's a classic, obviously. It's a classic for a reason. This cover, I adore. It's set in the 18th century in Paris, which sounds so good. I am so excited to read this book. I expect it to be a 5-star. Those were all of my 5-star predictions. Thank you for watching today's video. I actually started a podcast. So it's a book podcast on Spotify, Books with Maddie. It will be linked down below. If you want to go listen, I would really appreciate that. I just talk about all things book related, and I'm planning on maybe starting videos as well that will go on here. I also have a Bookstagram and a BookTok if you want to check those out. I have been actually very active on my Bookstagram, so if you want to catch up with me on there, that's all. Thank you. Bye.